How we doing, guys? Myself, Chris Pettit, OBE, hitting you with a quick one. Real talk, true season. Before I even get into this, parents, just listen. Take a look at this.
Every parent needs to know about. It's called Likey. It's like the pedophile version of Instagram. It is out of some country like Singapore, and the United States has no control over it whatsoever, and literally it will tell you everything about a kid that's on there. And she ended up talking to like this person in like Ohio. She was starting to take pictures, and this is my 10-year-old daughter. Like, it was crazy.
She was sending this person pictures of herself?
Yeah, at 10 in her swimsuit. Every parent needs to look out for this app. It's called Likey. Likee.
Don't worry, I'll wait. And this is not just the Likey parents. So I know a lot of you are like, oh, but my child's not on Likey. Yeah, but TikTok is Likey. Instagram is Likey. All these kind of things that your young people are doing, Call of Duty is Likey. Roadblocks is Likey. And I know that we sit there all the time and we try and put understanding to it, like, oh, they're just filming up videos and I'm watching them though, Chris. I check what's going on. No, it's not good enough because we don't even know how to check our own mental when it comes to social media. We can't even deal with social media. Let me preach. How much times have you got into a situation on your page and you feel like you've wanted more likes? You feel like you wanted more engagement, more shares. You feel like you want to get your message out there, or you feel like you want to put up a certain image or a certain clothes to let the Joneses know that you're keeping up. We've got our young people already that's been caught up in this whole world of social media where it now dumbs them down. It allows them not to have their own identity because everybody that they see online and everything is a specific way or has to be a certain way, or guys have to act a certain way. We need to tune into this, parents. It's not just a deep thing of, oh, why are we giving them social media in the first? For what reason? I'm just asking. For what reason? We always say the same thing. Oh, so they can get in contact or so they can get in connection with their friends and all the rest of it. Oh, I didn't have it when I grow up and I don't want to be that parent. We can say all these silent stuff that we want, but then complain when our children are now vulnerable. Complain when our children are being groomed. Complain when our children are being sexually exploited. Think about what I'm saying. As much as we feel like they're in their house, they're at most vulnerable when they're with you. Because you're sitting downstairs feeling like there's not a predator right now online telling them to share pictures. Telling them to send photos. We've been hearing a lot about this in group chats and these young girls that we've been mentoring and everything. We're starting to see that these group chats and some of these Snapchat, Roblox, this is where it starts to get scary, guys. So my question to us is, it's not just the Likey. Why has your child got Instagram right now if they're under the age of 15, 16? I still feel like it should be a 16 thing. Like, real talk. Maybe even 18. Like, I'm just throwing that out there because some of the games that you're allowing your children to play, they are 18. I'll say it again. Some of the games that your children are playing, it's meant to be 18. Help me make it make sense. Some of these platforms that these young people are on, even though they say, oh, 13, 14, 15, 16, of some of the apps, but if there's going to be sexual exploitation, if there's going to be crime, if there's going to be gangs, if there's going to be shooting, if there's going to be knives, help me make it make sense. So you're upset to know that there's loads of crime going on within London and within the UK, but you think it's okay that your son sits at home, bruv, on Call of Duty, shooting people every single day, and you think that's good for his conscience. I'm just saying, I know it's a game, but it's not a game until now he's out on the streets thinking that his reality is no longer reality. It's become a game. So a lot of us, please, parents, tap into this. It's an app called Likey, but it's not just the Likey. It's Snapchat. It's Roblox. It's the computer games that they're playing. It's Instagram. Why is your child on there? And if your child's on there, then that means that we're lacking as parents. We're lacking as parents because we're not actually there then. You might physically be there, but mentally, you're not there. Because your child is having to use other sources. And we already know television, yeah, they're telling lies through the vision. And we already know that controlling, programming, even down to our young kids. We need to stop our young kids watching so much TV, watching so much of this console because they don't know how to function. They don't know how much of your kids right now are listening when you're calling them, when they're playing the games. Oi, they're watching TV. Oi, you're calling them. They can't even hear you. They're not even listening. Disengaged. because this is what these programs do. This is what a lot of this stuff do. So if we're not getting them outside, if we're not actually giving them activities, if we're not actually making our kids play, this is the reason why they're suffering with mental health. This is the reason why we're suffering with obesity. This is the reason why we're suffering with crime. This is the reason why we're suffering with so much things within our young people because of the basics that we have now taken out, which is time. Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, I got work and don't worry. Many excuses that we all want to put, we can put them. But do not cry when there's scenarios and situations now when your child is going to prison, when your child is now getting to a stage where they're being sexually exploited, when they're being groomed, when they might be the perpetrator now. All for what? Because you're going to sit there and say everybody else had it. I didn't want my child to feel left out. My child's smart. My child wasn't involved. Not my child, Chris. That's the favorite one. Not my child. My child would never do that. I sit down and talk to my child all the time. I sit down and talk to these scenarios. I make sure that I know who my child is. I know my child's friends. We say these things, but do we really act out on these things? I don't think we do. Because if we did, there wouldn't be so much of a crisis of young people suffering through mental health. We've got 10, 11-year-olds suffering through mental health, depression, anxiety. What are you depressed about? The only thing you should be depressed about is your mum said you can't go out. The only thing you should be depressed about is knowing that you wanted to go to a party or you wanted to do something with your friends and your parents told you no. How are you depressed and how have you got anxiety? Because you're being manipulated, because you're being bullied. Why? Because you're so in tune with so much other outside influence right now that's been affected by you. That's why they've got mental health. That's why they've got trauma. Because we haven't dealt with our trauma. That's one thing. And they're also going through trauma, experiencing child exploitation, experiencing bullying, all through these social media apps. So yes, sometimes I know that you think your child's ready. I know that every parent, I'm not telling you how to parent your child. But what I am telling you is there's a lot of us that right now need to just draw it back. Give them the trap phone then. I know you're going to sit there and say, I need to get in contact. Give them the trap phone. There's tracking devices now that you can put on your child, whether it's a watch, whether it's a wristband, rare. There's many things that we can do now. So I don't want to hear no one sitting there telling me that they need an iPhone 14 Pro Max for whatever reason. Making your child more vulnerable, making your child get to a stage where now they are going to be victimized or people are going to try and rob their phone because they have it. This is another thing, parents. I know that we want to give, but sometimes we're giving too much. And now you're putting your own child in danger. And if not, we're not teaching our children how to deal with these situations when they occur. Lock down the social media. But most importantly, know where your children are. What's you guys' thoughts? Comment below.